Hi guys, welcome back to another Animal Adventures with Jordan, and today we're featuring one of the, I guess you could say, the rarest animals in our collection, and that is the African honey badger. And as you know from pop culture reference, honey badger don't care. And as you can see, Hank, our honey badger, he doesn't care. So we're going to do a lot of this video today probably without Hank in the shop, but we'll zoom back in at the end to show you a little bit about him. So to educate you briefly on honey badgers, they are a native species to obviously Africa and actually found in certain parts of Asia, on the western side perhaps through India. Now the honey badger is known for being perhaps maybe the most fearless or most ferocious animals in the world. Now these guys really have no natural predators. There are rumors and a few observed attacks by leopards and so forth, but the honey badger actually is so ferocious it can scare lions away from their kills. Now what makes them so ferocious? We don't know. Obviously some of that's got to be attitude, but also that body assists in that. For example, they have extremely thick skin, and in fact it is so thick that many animal bites cannot penetrate it, and that's quite often when we'll see honey badgers taking on venomous snakes and things like that without any issue, because the snakes don't have a chance. That skin, the fangs won't even penetrate. They're also equipped with a very strong bite and very sharp teeth, and also on their front feet are extremely long and strong claws. So this animal is almost built for war, and because of it many animals simply leave him alone. Now the honey badger is generally a solitary animal, although pairs may form up in the May breeding season and will actually hunt together at that time, but generally they live a life of solidarity. Now where do they live? Of course you can find them throughout Africa, certain regions, and they're a digger. Okay, many people look at them and think that with that name badger, honey badger, they're a part of the badger family, but in fact they exhibit almost no anatomical characteristics other than appearance, and they're more like the weasel than anything else in the way they behave and so forth. So anyway, what they do in these African areas, they actually live in burrows. Now, like we said, they're incredible diggers, and with those big sharp claws and powerful forearms, they can dig into hard pan soil and dig a 3 to 10 foot long burrow, the average length, in about 10 minutes. Now, mind you, if they're having a lazy day, they will take over the abandoned burrows of perhaps warthogs and aardvarks and other burrowing species or tunneling species in Africa. Now, in that den or in that tunnel, they will have a nesting chamber the females will make, and generally the den is quite barren except for that nesting chamber, which will have a little bit of bedding inside of it. Now, when they do produce cubs, I guess you'd say, or babies, they produce usually about 2 of them. They come out, they're very blind and defenseless, and our honey badger mom takes a very good job of raising them and getting them to that strong, beast that they're supposed to be, eventually emerging from that tunnel and taking on Africa and the animals that inhabit it. Now, their vocalization is very grumbled and rough, and in fact it's almost like a growling or a gruffling sound, and they'll chirp and kind of bark at you if they're agitated. Now Hank here, our honey badger, like I said, he's a little bit lazy and pretty good mannered considering he's a honey badger, so we only really get vocalizations when we're trying to shift him in or out of his exhibit area to clean and feed and so forth. Now if we can zoom back over, we'll see that Hank is actually taking a little bit of a nap right now. You can at least appreciate that coat. Now that coat does give off the appearance of a badger, like the North American badger that lives here in the United States. And that bristly fur is quite thick and quite strong, and also it helps keep our honey badger quite dry. With one shake, that water kind of beads right off, similar to that of like our North American black bears that we talked about a number of episodes ago. So on that note, I think we'll wrap it up on our honey badger. Very cool animal. But one more thing I think we should mention. Hank here is about 10 to 12 years old. Neatly enough, because they're relatively elusive, it's very hard for scientists to track a lot of their behaviors and also their longevity. So wild honey badgers, they really don't know exactly how long they live. And their gestation period and so forth, they believe it to be, like, I think it was 6 months, I want to say. But because, again, they're so elusive, they're a very hard animal to track. But on a good side of that, they are not really in a need for conservation at this time. So very ferocious animal, neat animal, well adapted, built for war. Definitely research them on your own, and if you want to get a kick out of something, YouTube honey badger and see what videos come up. Thanks, guys. Tune in again for another Animal Adventures on Tuesday or Thursday.